po sa ating lahat. Welcome back to our afternoon session for our regional rollout of Devolution Transition Plan. So kanina nga po, no, after nating mag-walk through ng ating mga annexes or forms para po sa pag-accomplish ng components ng ating DPP ay hiniwalay po tayo into provinces. Actually, yung ating mga DILG provinces po ay nagkaroon ng workshop or planning para sa magiging provincial workshop na ikakandak po nila after po ng ating regional rollout. So this time po, they will be presenting the outputs of their planning or workshop for the information na rin po ng ating mga cities and municipalities, and para at least meron na rin pong kumbaga guide or work plan na pwedeng masundan ng ating mga provinces as they plan for their respective provincial rollouts. So sige po, I think we're all ready naman na po. Dito na rin po lahat. So simulan na po natin yung pag-present ng ating mga action plans. Meron po bang mag-volunteer na province na gustong mauna? Or ako na lang po ang pipili? Anyone po? Ayan, so mauunan na daw po ang DILG Quezon to be presented by PD Daryl Dizon. PD, go ahead po. Saglit lang po.
Our host, please po, set PD Daryl po as a co-host.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. Isang mapagpalang hapon po sa lahat ng ating participants sa buong rehiyon ng CALABARZON. Malinaw po ba ang dating?
Yes po, PD.
Okay, salamat po. Binabati ko po ang mga participants mula sa Cavite, Batangas, Laguna, Rizal, Lucena City, and of course, lalawigan ng Quezon. So kanina po ay nagkaroon kami ng actually, lahat ng DILG officers ay nagkaroon ng pagpupulong upang makakome up sa action plan on the provincial rollout ng ating devolution transition plans. And I am happy to note that this output was the effort of our 3 cluster heads and our field officers, and of course our program manager, Attorney Neil. 2 participants raised their hands. Mamaya pa po ang ating tanong. If ever may chance pong mag-entertain. Okay? Gandang hapon po sa mga lahat na nasa chat box. Di ko na po kayo isa-isahin dahil baka abutin tayo ng alas 7 ng gabi. Pero magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Okay. So let's go to the meat of our output. So I would just like to emphasize na this early that our plan is really simple at dahil alam namin na ang kahalagahan ng isang plano ay kung paano ito i-implement at kung paano ito magagawa upang makamtan ang objective ng ating mga minimithi. So yan po, simple ang plano namin, subalit ito ay talagang buong puso namin at buong effort na aming pagsusumikapan na ma-accomplish. Okay, so the first one is ensuring the presence of executive order for the devolution transition plans. So revisit natin yung mga draft EOs natin. Siyempre, yung requirements, approved and issued EO. And then, one strategy is we will create a template. Gagawa po kami ng template that is applicable to all levels of LGUs. Ang timeline namin is yung para sa mga municipalities and city is after the provincial rollout, and then yung sa barangay po namin, ang submission is after the ma-rollout ito ng ating mga city at munisipyo. So ang OPR po nito ay syempre lahat po ng field officers at provincial team ng DILG Quezon. Ang susunod is yung organization arrangement ng mga PowerPoints, other issuances, reference materials, and annexes forms for sharing. So sisiguraduhin namin na kumpleto itong mga ibababa sa ating mga kasama. Requirement is issuance nitong guidance na manggagaling sa atin. Ang timeline is the third week of August. Ang OPR is of course the DILG Provincial Office. Next activity for this plan is the meeting ng aming created the DTP committee para sa rollout nito sa provincial and municipal level. So of course, alam natin, kailangan ng mga meeting dito at strategic planning. So we have tentatively set it for August 17, 2021. So ang members po nito, ang OPR ay yung DILG Quezon BTP committee members. And then, as an offshoot of this, we will be having the conduct of the provincial rollout to our 40 LGUs of the Devolution Transition Plan. So we will ensure na may invite, of course, yung ating mga partners na regional line agencies upang maging maayos itong gagawin nating rollout. The modality is applicable kung anong mode ang ating pwedeng gawin sa ating mga LGUs, pero we will be emphasizing the need or the preference for online training or on-site. Kung ano yung applicable doon. Kung hindi po pwede ng online, on-site po ang ating gagawin. Hindi na po lalabas kung saang LGU, hindi na lalabas kung saang probinsya, within lang po sa kanilang area. So OPR is DILG Quezon. Okay? We will remarks, we will of course focus dun sa formats na gagamitin. And then finally, yung conduct ng municipal rollout sa ating mga barangays, sa ating 1,209 barangays ng kanilang devolution transition plans. So hindi pa namin nila kumapansin, hindi pa nilagyan ng timeline. So ito ay to be determined pa at as soon as possible time kung ano yung very much applicable sa aming mga LGUs. So ang OPR dito, of course, yung ating mga cluster heads, yung ating masisipag na field officers, and yung mga partner natin, mga concerned LGU functionaries. So once again, yung modality is kung ano yung applicable sa kanilang respective AORs. So this plan is for purposes ng presentation. Ito yung output namin. Of course, this is subject to change or minor alterations kung ano yung makita naming adjustment na pwedeng gawin upang mas maging improved version itong aming pinresent ngayon with the end in goal na talagang itong DTPs ay ma-accomplish ng maayos sa lalawigan ng Quezon. So yun lang, and once again, magandang hapon po sa lahat ng ating participants. God bless everyone. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, PD Darrell, for presenting. So it's very clear and simple. And this is for the guidance of our LGUs po, particularly ng ating mga participating LGUs from Quezon. So tulad nga po ng sabi ni PD Darrell, maaring may mga mabago pa po dito, particularly sa schedule and modalities. Depende po sa mga mag-arise na needs as we go on. So yun po, I think we're ready for the next. Wala naman po sigurong mga questions from our LGUs from Quezon. So proceed na po tayo sa ating next action plan from another province. May mag-volunteer po ba? Ayan, mukhang wala. So baka po pwede po tayo mag-proceed sa DILG Laguna. Or ayan, may vinoluntold po dito sa ating chat box. Sa Cavite daw po, I see Miss G sa turno ang magpe-present. Ready na po ba sila ng kanilang action plan for DILG Cavite? Wala pa po ata. So sige po, balik po tayo sa DILG Laguna. Sino po kaya ang magpe-present? I-share na lang po namin yung inyong na-accomplish na action plan. Paki-raise na lang po ng hand. Ayan, para ma-set as co-host para po ay ma-unmute po namin kayo. Yan, acknowledging din po yung sinabi ni PD Alan. Rizal is ready, care of LGO 5 Sherlyn Resurrection. So, Ma'am Sherlyn, after po ng Laguna, tayo po yung magpe-present. Alright, the floor is yours. Mr. Zarel Cruzat.
Hello po, naririnig po?
Yes po. Yes po.
Okay po. So, bago po ang lahat, isang magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. lalo na po sa mga LGUs po natin mula po sa Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Rizal and Quezon at sa ating pong HUC sa Lucena. And binabati rin po namin ang mga representatives po ng ating pong provincial government. So ito pong akin pong i-discuss for today. Ito po yung group effort po ng Laguna team para po sa action plan namin, para po sa Devolution Transition Plan, strategic planning po namin. So ito po, nagbase lang po kami dito dun sa memo po na nakalagay po doon sa ating drive kung saan po dun specifically po dun sa item 2.2.2. Yun pong mga nakalatag na po doon yung mga activities mula po sa provincial hanggang barangay level po. So ito po, unahin po muna namin dito po sa provincial rollout po sa aming pinakang activities. Ang una na po sa aming sub-activities po, ayun pong pagbuo o pag-organisa po ng ating pong provincial core team. So actually po, ang DILG Laguna po ay dahil proactive nga po ang DILG Laguna, ay nakabuo na po ng provincial core team po ang province of Laguna. Kung saan po, ito po ay pinangungunahan ng aming provincial director, si Engineer John M. Cerezo, ang amin pong dalawang cluster heads at ang amin pong provincial program manager. Kasama na po dito sa remarks po, makikita po natin ay i-addendum na lamang po or idadagdag po namin ang mga pili po na field officers kung saan sila po yung mga kasama natin sa CapDev training nung mga nakaraang araw po. So sila po ay isasama po namin sa core team po. So isa po naman sa mga kasunod pa naming activities, ito pong DILG Laguna DCT and core team meeting. Ito po ay gaganapin po on Monday, August 16. So via Zoom po. So mga requirements lang po kailangan dito, yun pong notice of meeting. And actually po in-announce na rin naman po kanina sa action planning since mostly naman po doon ay kasama po lahat sa core team. So based naman po doon sa action planning kanina, kasi po ay nakita po ng isa sa mga field officers namin from ang CLGO po ng Binyan, si Ma'am Fatima Alon po, ay nakita niya po na baka po mahirapan ang mga LGUs po natin sa pag-identify po ng mga basic services po. Kaya po minabuti na po ng core team na i-proforma na po yung pong mga templates or kung saan po ilalagay na po lahat yung mga basic deliveries po, yung mga services na i-devolve sa LGU para mamimili na lamang po yung ating pong mga LGUs based po dun sa mga nakalatag or mga naka-input na po dun sa template na ibibigay po ng provincial office. So ito po dito sa remarks, andito po yung pagkakahati-hatian po ng mga field officers po natin sa pag-input po sa ating template. So next naman po sa mga sub-activities po is coordination po with the provincial government of Laguna on the schedule of provincial rollout. So ito po, magkakaroon po ng coordination meeting sa PGL po kung saan dito na po ilalatag po ng core team ng DILG Laguna yung pong mga na-determine po na or mga tentative schedules po para po sa buong province ng Laguna. Next po, ito pong pag-conduct po ng provincial rollout. So ito na po yung mismong rollout natin. So ito po ay to be determined pa po ang date. So wala pa po kami na ilagay. Ayan po. So nakalagay naman po sa remarks, ang magiging participants po for the rollout will be the provincial DTC, provincial department heads, and the stakeholders po. And to provide city and municipal... Wala po. And to provide city and municipalities with a copy of draft of provincial DPP kung saan po nakita po ng isa sa mga field officers namin kanina na kailangan po nabigyan na po ng advance copy po ng provincial DPP po yung mga LGUs natin para po mas ma-review na po nila agad kung saan po sila pwedeng mag-base ng DPP nila from provincial level po. So next naman po, dito naman po sa ating cities and municipal rollout, isa na po sa mga sub-activities po na na-identify namin is yung pong submission po ng schedule ng City of Municipal rollout. So napagkasunduan po na ang provincial office po, magbababa po siya ng Google Drive sa mga field officers po natin kung saan doon po nila ilalagay yung mga schedules po nila para po sa mga paggawa na po nila ng DTP nila. So next po, yun pong conduct of city and municipal rollout. So ito na po yung mismong rollout kung saan ang PACs po natin yung pong city and municipal DCT, city and municipal department heads, ay po ng barangays, barangay secretary and other DPC may be also invited, at saka po yung mga stakeholders pa po. So yung barangay level po, hindi na rin po muna namin siya naisama kasi to be determined pa rin naman po yung mga dates po, tsaka yung time frame po dito. So yun lamang po sa Laguna. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zarel, for the elaborate presentation. So, ayun nga po, isa din sa objective din natin na sinishare din natin yung mga action plans natin so that we can adapt yung mga possible na mga setups na pwede nating makuha from other provinces. So, ayan, proceed po tayo sa ating next province, DILG Cavite. Ms. G. Saturno will be presenting. Ms. G, ready na po ba sila?
Yes po.
Ayan po.
Hello po. Makikisuyo lang din po ako kay Kuya Mon ng pa-share screen kasi medyo nagloloko lang po ang aking laptop. Ayan, hindi na po ako mag-on ng video para ma-maximize ko po yung bandwidth. Thank you. Yan, thank you po, Ms. Monette. So, ito po ang nabuo ng Team DILG Cavite. Kasama po ang mga cluster heads at ang focal person po ng DTP and mga CMLGOs po ng DILG Cavite. So, sa activities, una po ang creation ng DILG Cavite DTP coordinating team. So, una po ang pag-designate ng DILG Cavite DTP focal person, which is nasa remarks ay na-designate na po. And then issuance of provincial order designating the DILG Cavite coordinating team. So our requirement is yung determination of the members of the coordinating team and assignment per area. So ito po ay dapat by August 13, 2021. So sa creation naman po ng province, city, municipality, barangay devolution transition committees, so issuance ng executive order. Ang requirements po ay composition of the PC and DPCs by August 16. So ito po ay ang OPR po dito ay ang LCEs, of course, the governor, mayors, and punong barangays. So dito po mag-i-issue po ang provincial office ng memorandum para ma-follow up na po ang submission ng EOs by August 12. So magkakandak din po ng series of consultation or coordination activities with the NGAs, ROs, POs, leagues for the DTP workshop rollout. So una po yung coordination with the Cavite Mayors League. Ang requirements po dito ay yung schedule ng appointment from CML and then coordination with NGA regarding DTP. Ang requirements po dito ay yung schedule and appointment from NGA. So this is by August 19. And then provision of the approved DTP of the NGAs. Dito naman po coordination with the regional line agencies and DILG region. And then coordination with the Cavite League of Planners. So dito po ang requirements ay schedule and appointment from league. of Planners. So parehas po ito yung sa NGAs at saka sa League of Planners. Parehas po siyang to be determined. So ang OPR po for this series of coordination activity ay ang DTC focal person or the DILG Cavite coordinating team. So for cluster consultation, dito po napag-usapan na magkakandak ng FGD-like activities. So para mas mapag-usapan po per department. So ayan po, conduct of separate consultation meeting with the Provincial Association of PCMs, Agriculturist, Social Welfare and Development, Engineering, ENRO, and HO. So dito po, ang requirements po ay yung activity design, schedule with the different leagues of local functionaries, compendium of approved DTPs from NGAs, presentations from NGA, then yung Annex E1. So ang timeline po nito, so by 3rd week of August. And then ang OPR po again is yung DILG Cavite coordinating team. So next po yung conduct ng provincial workshop or DTP and Capacity Development Agenda. So sub-activities po, strategic planning meeting. Ang requirements po ay reference materials, templates, summary of results from cluster consultations, then yung Annex E1. Ito po ay by 3rd week of August 2021 din by the DTP focal person or the DILG Cavite coordinating team. So next po ay yung conduct ng city municipal workshop. Ayan, sectoral consultation. Ito pa yung mga sub-activities, sectoral consultation and workshop, consolidation and finalization of output, presentation ng output, adoption of SB or SB through a resolution. So dito po ang requirements po sa first activity, sub-activity ay provincial DTP framework, then compendium of DTPs from NGAs. So this will be, ang target po namin dito ay first week of September by the CMLGOs and the city municipal DTCs. So yun naman kung sa consolidation and finalization of output. So of course yung workshop outputs, and then ito rin po ay CMLGOs and CMDTCs. So yung the rest of the sub-activities, lahat po yun ay to be determined pa po ang schedule. And the next po yung conduct of provincial city municipal interfacing activities. So both po ng phase 1 and phase 2 ay to be determined pa rin po ang nasa timeline namin to be conducted, or ang OPR po nito ay yung DILG Cavite coordinating team and the provincial DTC. And then the conduct of barangay workshop. And the conduct of barangay workshop. So almost same lang po ng sub-activities with the city municipal. And then to be determined pa rin po ang aming nilagay na sa timeline. Maliban po dun sa sector consultation workshop, which is ang target po namin ay 2nd week of September by the CMLGO and respective barangay DTC. So next is yung conduct of barangay interfacing activities. So yung phase 1 and phase 2, scheduled siya sa 3rd week of September 2021. So OPR po, same is CMLGO and respective city municipal DTC. So last po yung submission of DTPs. So first sub-activity, submission of barangay DTP to city municipal LGU and city municipal DILG office. So ang requirement ay approved barangay DTP. So syempre hintayin po muna nating lumabas yung signed na JMC. And then ito po ang OPR po dito ay barangay DTC. So next po is yung submission of city municipal DTPs to PLGU and DILGPO. So dapat approve po siya ni city municipal DTP. And the same po, hintayin pa rin po natin lumabas yung signed JMC para malaman natin kung kailan yung start ng bilang ng days. And then last is yung submission of provincial DTP to DILG Provincial Office. So approve provincial DTP ang requirement, and then ang OPR po dito ay ang provincial DTC. So ayun lang po for DILG Cavite. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much po, Ms. G, for that very detailed presentation as well. So at least na mas nakikita na po natin ngayon, na mas napipicture out natin how it will be cascaded down to our LGUs, and para na rin the more details then that we are able to plot sa ating plan, mas nakikita natin kung ano pa yung gaps na kailangan nating ma-fill in or kailangan nating ma-address. So yan po, with that, I think wala naman po tayong comments or questions from our participants. So proceed na po tayo sa ating next presenter, which will be coming from DILG Rizal. So I'd like to call on Miss Charlene Onyata Resurrection. The real Miss Charlene.
Hello po, good afternoon po sa ating lahat. Good afternoon po sa ating regional
Ayan po.
management, sa ating mga provincial directors, sa mga kapwa ko po participants, at sa mga kapangalan ko po na Charlene Onyate Resurrection, na nandyan po sa ating mga participants. Medyo madami po kami dito ngayon. Ayan po. So I'll be presenting po yung action plan po ng province of Rizal. Though kagaya po ng ibang provinces, ito po ay, ayan nga po, subject pa po sa changes po. Ano po? Ayan po. So, yan. Una po, yung organization po ng ating mga LGUDT committees. So, ito naman po ay ongoing dahil meron naman po tayong issuance regarding po sa pag-organize po, supported po ng executive order. Pero yan po, minarapat po namin na ilagay po dun sa ating activity dahil ito po ay mahalaga na component para po dun sa mga succeeding activities po natin. So, yan po, yun nga po, ang sub-activities po namin ay organizational ng ating provincial, city, municipal, and barangay DTC. So, requirement po ay syempre yung ating executive orders. So, nag-timeline po kami hanggang next week. And ang OPR po natin ay yun pong, yan po, yung mga respective DTC po natin, and of course, yung ating mga field officers to facilitate po yung pag-organize ng committees. And then, we have yung coordination po ng mga DTC to their respective department heads. Dahil sila naman po ay participants po today, minarapat din po namin na ilagay as sub-activities para po yung mga succeeding activities po natin na informed na po yung ating mga LGUs and yung ating mga department heads doon sa mga gagawin po natin na succeeding activities pa. And then next po, yung ating coordination with NGAs ng ROs and POs po for the preparation po ng rollout dahil ayun nga po, kailangan din po natin yung kanilang expertise po and then yung mga informations, data na kailangan po nating ma-share dun sa ating mga LGUs para po dun sa ating gagawin natin na rollout, especially dun po sa workshops po. And then we have the meeting po with the coaches, yung ating cluster heads, and yung mga teams na i-compose po nung core committee po nung ating provincial office, and then ayun po, para po sa ating finalization ng plan for the rollouts po. So for the sub-activities, syempre yung ating pong tasking ng topics dun sa mga respective RPs, and then yung clustering of target LGUs po for the rollout activities. Dahil kami po ay nasa-finalize pa kung anong training mode or manner of rollout po yung gagawin namin. Kung ito po ba ay face-to-face o via Zoom, pero majority po dun sa agreements ay via Zoom po gagawin yung ating mga activities. And then yung finalist po ng ating mga research speakers per topic. So nag-target po kami na meeting by next week po, August 17. So yan po yung ating cluster heads, field officers, and PO po ang ating OPR. Next po, yung conduct po natin ng provincial rollout and workshop na rin po of the Devolution Transition Plan. So, kanina po na-discuss na rin po kung kasama na rin po yung CapDev agenda na medyo madugo po yung pinagdaanan na training last week. So, ayan po, sa admin pong planning kanina ay mukhang i-include na po. So, roll-out and workshop na rin po talaga yung mangyayari para yung effort po ng pag-roll out ay isang effort lang din po. And then, mga sub-activities po natin, syempre yung preparation po ng mga invitation letters and heads up po dun sa mga possible data needed para po kapag workshop time na po ay medyo mas smooth na po yung paggagawa ng mga workshop outputs kung available na po agad yung mga data na kailangan. And documents po. And preparation of training or admin requirements, syempre yung mga PowerPoint presentations natin, yung mga Zoom accounts, attendance link, yung mga evaluation forms, yun po. And yung mga succeeding workshops pa po sa city municipal level. Dahil syempre hindi naman po matatapos dun sa rollout ay meron na kaagad silang DTPs. So we expect po na meron pa pong mga succeeding workshops po sa city municipal level to be facilitated po ng ating mga field officers and yung ating pong mga DPC. Yan po. So nakatarget po kami on August 23 to 27 and then succeeding workshops on August 27 onwards po. Okay po. Next po, yung conduct po ng ating barangay rollout and workshops po ng DTP. So, hiniwalay po namin yung barangay kahit po kami ay konti lang yung aming city municipalities po. So, nakahiwalay po si barangay and ang magiging output nga po dito yung ating barangay DTPs. So, nakatarget po kami ng August 31 to September 3. So, inaasahan din po namin cooperation at tulong po ng ating mga city municipal DTC and concerned field officers para po ma-facilitate po ng maayos ng ating rollout sa ating barangay level. And then, conduct of city municipal barangay interfacing activities. Ayan po, kasama po dito yung pag-monitor din ng progress ng mga DTP preparations po ng ating mga barangay. And then, nakatarget po siya ng September 6 to 10. Ayan po. Tapos OPR po, syempre yung ating mga concerned field officers and city municipal DTC. And then, conduct of provincial city municipal interfacing activities. So, monitoring po din ang progress ng DTP preparation by September 13 to 17. And OPR naman po yung provincial to city municipal DTC and yung ating concerned field officers po. And then yung ating po submission na ng barangay DTP sa city municipal level by October 18, hopefully. And then submission of city municipal DTP sa the provincial level by November 18 po. So syempre subject to changes pa rin naman po yung mga dates po na nakaspecified po dito. Ayun po, yun lamang po yung for the province of Rizal. Maraming salamat po at magandang hapon po sa ating lahat.
Maraming salamat po, Ms. Shirley. So, again po, no, for our LGUs, ito po ay para ma-anticipate din po natin yung mga activities that will be conducted by our respective DILG provincial offices following our regional rollout. And of course, kami din po sa regional offices will still be closely coordinating with our provincial and field offices and will be giving the necessary support din po. So, with that, I think proceed na po tayo sa ating next na action plan from DILG Batangas. This will be presented by Ms. Liz Abreu.
Hello po, good afternoon po everyone. To our provincial directors, our cluster heads po, and our field officers here and from our LGUs. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Ako po ay naatasan ng aming provincial office po na mag-present po sa inyo ng aming action plan para po sa Batangas. Ito po ay joint effort po ng DILG Batangas focal persons, cluster heads at saka po ng aming mga CMLGOs. So to begin with po, for our activities, we will start po with the creation of Devolution Core Team or the DCT sa amin pong provincial level. Ang aming pong sub-activities is the coordination meeting of the core team. Requirements po for this is the executive order and then the issuance of the office order for the creation of the said committee. Timeline po namin for this is August 13, 2021, and the OPR po is the provincial office. Next po is the creation of devolution transition committees for all the LGUs. With this po, dito po papasok yung formulation of executive order creating the transition committees. Ang requirements po for this is in accordance with the minimum requirement of the existing memorandum circular. So timeline po for this is August 20, 2021. And ang OPR po dito is the concerned field officers. Next po is the conduct of provincial workshop. The sub-activities po for this is the coordination with the NGAs for the preparation on the provincial DTP workshop rollout. So with this po, ang requirements po namin is the directory of the concerned NGAs. Timeline po for this is tentatively August 16, 2021 onwards, and to be conducted by the DILG Provincial Devolution Committee. Next po, isa pa po sa sub-activities ng provincial workshop is the actual provincial workshop itself. So the requirement po for this is the DTPs of the concerned NGAs. Then the timeline po for this is on August 23 onwards naman po. So subject to workshop. With this po, sub-activity is the LGU DCT in preparation for the conduct of workshop. Requirements po for this is same lang po with the provincial workshop, DTPs of the concerned NGAs. Same lang din po, so pwede naman po siyang magkasabay. So August 23, 2021 onwards din po. And the concerned OPRs are the field officers in coordination po with the DILG PDCT and the concerned LGU DCT. Next po is the conduct of barangay workshop. Sub-activities for this po is the LGU DCT in preparation of the conduct of workshop. The timeline is on August 23, 2021 onwards also po. But may remarks po kami dito na if possible, AVP for barangays discussing the DTP. Kung makakahingi din po kami ng assistance with the regional office regarding this, or kung meron po silang masasuggest na better idea, kasi some of the barangays po in the province doesn't have a good internet connection kung i-via Zoom po namin yung workshop for them. So the OPR po for this is the concerned field officers and with the coordination on the DILG PDCT and the concerned DILG DCT. Next po is the conduct of PCM interfacing activities. So meron pong dalawang phases here. Phase 1 is the top to bottom. It is the provincial to city municipal interface, and then city municipal to barangay interface. And then the next phase po is the bottom to up, the city municipal to provincial interface, and then the barangay to city municipal interface. So sa dalawang phases po na ito, ang requirements po namin is the draft DDPs of other concerned LGU level in both phases. And then the set target for this is September 10 onwards for the first phase, and then September 20 onwards for the second phase. And then the OPRs po for this is the concerned field officers in coordination also with the DILG PDCT concerned LGU DCT. So tulad po nung sa ibang provinces, this is subject to change pa. May add pa po kami or may ma-omit. So yun po. Thank you so much po.
Maraming salamat din po, Binibining Riz, sa inyong paglalahad ng action plan for the provincial rollout of DILG Batangas. And now we are down to our last presenter for DILG Lucena. I'd like to call on Mr. Gerald Fermanes.
Hello po, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. So ito po yung action plan po ng DILG Lucena. So we also included po yung aming taga-city planning para at least ay inclusive yung Okay, so una po naming activity ay yung creation of Devolution Transition Committee. So magsisimula po ito sa amin sa DILG Lucena. Yung DILG Lucena Devolution Transition Core Team. So ang requirements po namin is the issuance of the city order for the creation ng DILG Lucena City Devolution Transition Core Team. And then ang timeline po namin ay by next week, 3rd week of August. OPR po is DILG Lucena. And then the creation po ng Lucena City Devolution Transition Team. Requirements po is the executive order para po sa creation ng LGU Devolution Transition Team. Ang timeline po namin is until the end of August. So ang OPR po nito is the city mayor. So we're just waiting for the signed DILG DBM Joint Memorandum Circular, but we are in close coordination po sa planning po natin sa CMO din po. And then yung creation po ng Barangay Devolution Transition Team. So kanina po nagkaroon kami ng Liga meeting. We reiterated to all po ng barangays na makapag-draft na po sila ng kanilang executive order para sa kanilang respective Barangay Devolution Transition Team. Ang timeline po namin is until the end of August, kasabay po ng sa city. So OPR are the punong barangays. And then next activity po ay ito na, yung conduct ng city workshop with CapDev formulation. So sub-activities po namin ay dalawa. Una ay yung coordination with concerned NGAs and Lucena City Devolution Transition Team for the preparation of the city DTP workshop rollout. Requirements po ay will be coordinating with the concerned national government agencies and at the same time sa Lucena City DTP Committee. Majority po ng aming mga timelines ay to be determined since we'll be coordinating pa po ito sa mayor. And then ang OPR po is DILG Lucena. So second sub-activity po namin ay yung conduct na ng actual workshop para po sa Lucena City Government. We'll be considering po yung Zoom, considering nga dun sa ating quarantine classification. And then coordination po for the NGAs and the LGU-DTP Committee. Again, to be determined po ito. Next activity po ay presentation na ng draft Lucena City Devolution Transition Plan to the City Mayor and Sangguniang Panglungsod. So ang requirements po dito ay yung draft Lucena City Devolution Transition Plan. And then ang OPR po dito is yung Lucena City Devolution Transition Committee. Then afterwards po ay yung approval and adoption of the Lucena City Devolution Transition Plan. Requirements po of course is the approved plan. Ang OPR po ay ang City Mayor and the Sangguniang Panglungsod. Then afterwards po ay yung formulation naman ng sa barangay. So the next activity will be the conduct of barangay workshop with CapDev formulation. Ang activity po namin dito ay yung coordination with the Lucena City Devolution Transition Team. Requirements po namin yung letter for the Lucena City DTP Committee and sa barangay. And then ang OPR po ay to be determined. I mean yung timeline po ay to be determined, and then yung OPR ay DILG Lucena and Lucena City Devolution Transition Team and the Barangay Devolution Transition Committee. And then the second sub-activity po ay yung conduct na ng actual workshop para sa mga barangays. Same din po, to be determined pa. Next activity, second to the last, ay yung presentation of the draft Barangay Devolution Transition Plan to the Barangay Development Council. Ang requirements po dito ay yung draft Barangay Devolution Transition Plan. And then ang OPR po ay yung Barangay Devolution Transition Committee. And then the last activity for the barangay ay yung approval and adoption of the Barangay Devolution Transition Plan to be approved and adopted by the Sangguniang Barangay. So ito naman po ay subject to changes pa. based po dun sa magiging discussion po namin with the City Devolution Transition Team and then to the barangays din. So yun lamang po at maraming salamat.
Thank you very much, Sir Gerald. Ayan, so dyan na po nagtatapos yung ating mga presentations ng action plans of our DILG provincial offices. So now, for our next agenda para sa araw na ito, we will be discussing the Devolution Transition Map roadmap, and this will be delivered to us by Ms. Manette Landicho. So tinatawagan ko na po ulit si Ms. Manette.
Ayan, hello po. Magandang hapon po muli sa ating lahat. Ako po muli si Manette Landicho mula sa Local Government Capability Development Division. So ngayon nga po, tapos na po tayo sa ating mga discussions on Devolution Transition Plan. So ngayon naman po, allow me to present yung ating roadmap for full devolution. So ito po yung sinusundan natin and hopefully yung mga nakalagay po dito ay yung ating ma-accomplish and ma-implement habang nagta-transition po tayo sa full devolution. So ito po on your screen, ito po yung nakaraang roadmap natin. Ito po noong 2019. Ngayon po, meron tayong proposed full devolution transition roadmap 2021 to 2025. Ito po ay presented noong National Orientation on the preparation of LGU Devolution Transition Plans noong July 30, 2021. So ito po yung, again, proposed full devolution transition roadmap. And before I begin lang po, okay po ba ang aking audio? I hope ay clear. Ayan, maraming salamat po. Ayan. So, nature and objective of the full devolution transition roadmap. So it is a visual device. It provides a coherent view of the strategic approach to full devolution guided by Executive Order 138 and takes into account public financial management and related processes. It is also dynamic and agile reference, can be periodically enhanced to provide more up-to-date information and guidance, and can be shared with other oversight agencies to provide a common reference and communication tool. So as presented po, pwede pa rin po siyang i-enhance from time to time. Katulad nga po nung nangyari, meron tayong existing noong 2019 but dahil sa mga developments, nagkaroon po tayo ng panibagong proposed roadmap for 2021 to 2025. Sino po ba ang users and ano ba yung uses ng ating pong roadmap? So ito pong ating, yung mga users po natin, primary devolution stakeholders, specifically our local government units, national government agencies, and regional line agencies to understand and appreciate the different processes, milestones, potential speed limits, and other obstacles in the devolution transition process from 2021 to 2025. So later po makikita ninyo ano ba yung inaasahang milestones for 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. Mga speed limits or mga obstacles na pwede or nakikita natin na ating madadaanan while transitioning into full devolution. Also, to be aware of the devolution stages and how they contribute to it. Palagi naman po nating kahapon pa naririnig na po natin na 2022 to 2024 ay transition period to full devolution ng 2024. So, sisimulan po natin sila paunti-unti ng 2022 para on 2024, makamit na po natin yung full devolution na inaasahan sa atin ng Executive Order number 138. So, sa roadmap po, titingnan natin ano ba dapat yung milestones natin ng 2021 or 2022, 2023. So, yan po. Prioritize and adjust using the roadmap as strategic reference. And yun nga, makikita po natin dito yung obstacles, speed limits na pwede nating i-take into consideration while transitioning to full devolution. Yeah. Strategies that inform the FDT roadmap. So yung FDT po, Full Devolution Transition Roadmap. So recognition that both NGAs and LGs will be significantly affected by the executive order implementation and will both require adequate policy, technical, and capacity building support. Dito po, recognize po na hindi lamang local government units but maging mga national government agencies ay maapektuhan ng executive order implementation natin. Strong and effective coordination among oversight agencies and other government agencies in providing policy guidance, technical assistance, and capacity development support to local governments. Transparent and dialogue-oriented approach in engaging full devolution actors. Dialogue-oriented approach meaning hindi lamang po iisa or hindi lamang po local government unit ang magde-decide, but lahat po ng stakeholders ay kasama natin dito. Devolution is linked to public financial management, making it more grounded and also expanding LGU service delivery capacities through revenue generation and resource mobilization, strengthening vertical and horizontal linkages in public planning, investment programming, budgeting, and monitoring and evaluation. Kahapon po, paulit-ulit na rin naman pong nabanggit ang kahalagahan ng vertical and horizontal linkages sa atin pong planning. Wala pa man po itong EO 138. Ito na po yung ating ini-encourage and pinopromote, yung vertical and horizontal linkages ng ating mga plans and programs. Maximizing devolution coordination mechanisms to track progress, identify and resolve issues, and recognize good practices and lessons learned. So, ito po yung ating mga roadmap phases and roadmap elements. Nabanggit naman po kanina na ang lalamanin po nating roadmap nito, yung objective, mga milestones, roadside attractions, speed limits, potential obstacles. Nature of phase po, ito yung main character or thrust of the phase. Objective articulates the purpose, plan devolution milestones, identifies the markers of progress in the implementation of the roadmap. Other devolution roadside attractions, relevant developments in devolution that are anticipated to occur within the phase, anticipated or possible devolution speed limits. Ito po yung foreseen developments that are highly likely to and significantly impact on the roadmap in its implementation. And yun pong mga potential obstacles, challenges, and risks that may occur and adversely affect the roadmap and its implementation. So, dito naman po sa kabilang side, sa 2021, ngayon po, ginagawa po natin mga preparasyon para sa implementation po nga nitong devolution natin from 2022. 2022 po, nakikita na natin yung early transition. Hopefully sa 2023 mid-transition, and sa 2024 po eventually full transition na to devolution. And sa 2025 acceleration na po ang nakikita po natin or ang nais nating makita dito po sa atin implementation ng full devolution. So current sources of the FDT roadmap information, ang atin pong EO 138, LGU-DTP guidelines, DBM next steps, NEDA next steps, yun pong devolution transition plan ng DSWD and ng DOH. Ito po yung pinagkunan ng information ng ating roadmap. Kaya nga po kung maalala nyo kanina doon sa isang naunang slide, atin pong roadmap may be updated from time to time dahil nga po sa mga developments and other information pa. So if ever pong may bagong mag-submit na NGA ng ating DTP, maaari pong magbago and ma-update ang ating roadmap. Considering po doon sa submitted na DTP ng NGAs or iba pa pong policies na ilalabas or mailalabas if ever po kung meron. Ito po yung ating roadmap na tinatawag. Again, it's a visual representation. So, from 2021 to 2025, literal po na roadmap. So, unahin po muna natin ng 2021. So sa 2021, magpo-focus po ito sa preparations, katulad na po ng issuance of the policy guidance instruments. So nandyan na nga po yung EO 138 na sana na I'm sure na-disseminate na po to concerned devolution actors, enabling LGUs and concerned offices under the executive branch of the national government to comprehensively prepare for the implementation of Executive Order 138. So ito po yung objectives ng atin pong 2021 preparation sa full devolution. Yan. Devolution milestones, yan. So ang national government level, preparation of NGA DTPs and submission sa BBM, consolidation of LGU DTPs and conduct of analytics for capacity development and monitoring and evaluation and communication purposes po. Ito po ay concern ng DILG and sa BBM po, strengthening the capacities of national government agencies on monitoring and coaching functions. Sa atin naman pong local government level, accessing available NGA DTPs and other information sources to guide DTP formulation, preparation of LGU DTP and submission to appropriate bodies, review of LGU DTPs by higher level LGUs, where applicable, provinces, cities, municipal LGUs, submit to appropriate CSC field office the approved plantilla of positions. And yung atin pong Committee on Devolution, convening the COMDEV at the national and regional levels, and formulation and implementation of Committee on Devolution Communications Plan. So ito pong communications plan, nakapaloob pa rin po ito sa Executive Order number 138 and implementing rules and regulations po ng Executive Order 138. We have shared po yung a short AVP discussing po itong communications plan doon po sa presentation link na sinend namin sa inyo kahapon. Attractions, ayan. So yung mga nakita po natin, amendment by DBM of the Index of Occupation Services position titles and salary grades in the local government, amendment or updating po ng DILG, NEDA, DBM, DOF, JMC 2016-01. So ito po yung mga nakikita nating mga attractions or yung relevant developments in devolution na in the anticipation na nangyayari doon. So limits po, mga speed limits or yun nga pong mga likely to significantly impact the roadmap and its implementation. So delays po in the issuance and rollout of policy guidelines. So maaari po itong makaapekto yung mga delays sa issuance at mga policy guidelines. Ngayon, ayan, lingering inaccurate perceptions and unaddressed concerns about full devolution after affect EO implementation, challenges and gaps in the preparation of NGA and LGU DTP. So, kaya nga din po kami sa regional level, we will communicate with concerned NGAs para kung sakali po, mas maganda ma-providean po tayo ng para bagang shopping list ng ating LGUs doon sa mga functions, facilities, and services na ma-devolve sa kanila para guided po yung ating mga LGU sa pagpe-prepare din nila po ng kanilang devolution transition plan, kung ano po ba yung i-absorb muna nila ngayon 2020 and then sa 2023 para in preparation nga po doon sa 2024 to address these gaps in the preparation of NGA and LGU DTP. So hopefully po ay makakuha po tayo sa ating concerned NGAs, although yesterday naman po na-present naman po ng ating mga NGAs yung mga ano po natin, yung mga devolved functions, facilities, and services. So obstacles, syempre po kahit saan naman po nakikita nating obstacle itong COVID-19 pandemic and epekto po sa atin ito, yun nga po mga limitations and challenges. Ngayon pa nga lang po sa ating mga workshops and rollouts, medyo nagiging limitado po tayo kasi po may mga limitations. Isinasaalang-alang pa rin po natin yung health and safety ng lahat. And then, kasama din po yung filing of candidacy and preparations for 2022 national and local elections. Distract governance actors from delivering services. And sa 2020 naman po, yung ating pong early transition, year 1 po ng implementation of the NGA and LGU DPPs. Ang objective po natin is to provide necessary guidance and assistance that will enable LGUs and NGAs to implement their respective DPPs and accomplish targets for 2023 and 2024. Milestones sa national government agencies. Ito po yung mga nakikita nating milestones, yung mga markers of progress in the implementation po ng ating roadmap. Capacity building activities for LGUs through our local government academy, Development Academy of the Philippines, ang ating pong DLGF and other NGAs po concerned, implementation of GEF, achievement by NGAs of their 2022 DPP targets, mga JMC, MOA, DOH Central Office, DOH and CHD to procure individual-based commodities without PhilHealth financing, incorporating NGA DPP targets in their plans and budgets for 2023. And sa ComDev implementation po ng mga nakalatag na plano for 2022, ComDev monitoring of EO 138 implementation, conduct of policy studies on full devolution. Ayan. Sa local government level naman po, identifying PPAs that have not been included in the 2022 AIP and budget for remedial supplemental action in 2022. Ayan po. Ayan, sorry po. Achievement by LGUs of their 2022 DPP targets. So, nakikita po natin or sana makita natin na unti-unti na-achieve po ng ating local government units sa 2022 ang kanilang 2022 DPP targets bilang ito po ay early transition natin sa full devolution. Integration of DPP targets and strategies in the LGU term-based plans, integration of DPP targets and strategies in the preparation or updating of LGU land use and comprehensive development plans, incorporation of LGU DPP targets in their plans and budget for 2023, develop mechanisms to continually upgrade their services and guarantee the quality of LGU service delivery, enforce quality assurance and compliance, manage performance reporting and performance improvement, create incentives for innovations, and meet the expectations of the public of LGU services. Dahil nakikita nga po natin, itong devolution will demand, lalaki po yung demand for service delivery. Ayan. So, hopefully in our early transition, makita po natin ito and set up the appropriate mechanism to collect comparable data and information on a regular basis to systematically track their performance targets. Ayan. So, mahalaga pa rin po na namomonitor na tatrack natin yung performance natin. And sa regional level, ensuring vertical alignment of local development priorities with the regional and national priorities, updating of existing circulars, and recalibrate the synchronized local and regional planning and budgeting calendars accordingly, sustain the results-based M&E systems at the local level. Attractions po, ang atin pong PDP, or PDIP, RDPs, and RDIPs for 2023 and 2028 ay atin pong ipiprepare. Limits, effects on the national government and local government operations by the synchronized national and local elections sa 2022. Effects po on LG operations by the 2022 Barangay Sangguniang Kabataan elections, and absorptive capacity of local governments may adversely impact the utilization of increased resources and affect service delivery. Kumbaga, parang nakikita po natin yung absorptive capacities, baka nagugulat or magulat yung ating mga local government. So, ito po yung siguro yung mga i-address natin or pipilitin natin ma-address or kung magkaroon man po ng impact, ma-minimize din po sana. And then obstacles, same po, if ever meron pa rin pong COVID-19 pandemic sa 2022, ayan, yung mga limitations and mga risks po na dala ng COVID-19 pandemic ay maaari pa rin maka-apekto sa ating pagta-transition to full devolution. 2023 na po tayo, mid-transition na ng ating full devolution, year 2 implementation na. So ang ating pong objective for this year or for 2023 is to provide necessary guidance and assistance that will enable LGUs and NGAs to implement their respective DTPs and accomplish targets for 2023 and 2024. So devolution milestones, patuloy pa rin po ang capacity building activities, implementation of GEF, achievement ng 2023 targets, full devolution po ng DSWD, DOH and CHD to procure some devolved functions, CHD to monitor and provide technical assistance, incorporating NGA DTP targets in their plans and budgets for 2024. For ComDev naman po, implementation of ComDev Communications Plan for 2023, submission by the ComDev of the 2022 Annual Report on Executive Order Number 138 implementation and monitoring of the 2023 progress, and conduct of policy study or studies on full devolution. For local governments naman po, achievement po ng LGUs na kanilang 2023 DTP targets, integration of DTP targets and strategies in the preparation or updating of LGU land use and comprehensive development plans, LGU procurement of individual and population health services, incorporating LGU DTP targets in their plans and budgets for 2024. And for regional level, same po, ensuring the vertical alignment of local development priorities with regional and national priorities using the bedrock strategies, and annual assessment of the contributions of cities and municipalities and provinces in the attainment of PDP targeted priorities and outcomes, consequently achievement of the PDP, and to the most practical extent, the Sustainable Development Goals. So attractions, ayan, approval and implementation ng PDP, PDIP, RDP, and RDIP for 2023 to 2028. Limits po, mga nakikita po natin, anticipated reduction in LGU shares in the NPA compared to 2022 levels due to 2020 fiscal realities posed by the COVID-19 pandemic and its consequences. So dahil nga po sa effect pa rin ng COVID-19 pandemic, we anticipate na may-reduce yung ating LGU shares in the NPA compared po sa 2022. So nakikita po natin ito as one of the limits sa atin ng mid-transition natin sa devolution. Legislation that centralizes functions, services, or facilities already devolved to LGUs. Again, ito naman po yung mga nakikita lang. And hopefully, or mga na-anticipate lang. So hopefully, ma-address nga po itong mga ito. Potential obstacles, limitations, and challenges posed by continuing or lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and its consequences on the country's economic and social life. And sa 2024 na po ang ating full transition to devolution. Ang ating pong objective to successfully complete the guidance and directives on decentralization set out in Executive Order 138, specifically that the functions, services, and facilities as indicated under Section 17 of RA number 7160 or yung ating pong local government code and other existing laws shall be devolved from the national government to the local government units no later than fiscal year 2024. Milestones, capacity building activities, implementation of GEF, achievement by NGAs of their 2024 DTP targets, and successful conclusion of the transition. So, nakikita po nating milestones ay yung successful conclusion na ng ating transition, meaning fully devolved na DOH and CHD to monitor and provide technical assistance. Sa ComDev naman po, baka po nagtataka kayo bakit may mga DOH. Again, Ang information po kasi ng ating DTP ay based din sa DOH Devolution Transition Plan. So asahan niyo po na madadagdagan pa rin itong mga milestones natin or ma-update pa yung ating roadmap dahil nga po sa mga nakikita pa nating submissions ng Devolution Transition Plans ng national government agencies. Sa ComDev, implementation of ComDev Communications Plan for 2024. So yung mga nakaplano for 2024, hopefully na-accomplish or ma-accomplish. Submission by the ComDev of the 2023 Annual Report and EO138 implementation and monitoring of 2024 progress, preparation of ComDev 3-year summary report including recommendations for moving forward beyond 2024. Tandaan po natin yung 2025, acceleration na yung nakikita natin. So beyond 2024, for possible inclusion in the SONA 2025 and utilization ng pong mga na-formulate na studies nung beginning 2022 or 2021 to 2023. For local government po, achievement by LGUs of their 2024 DTP targets and successful conclusion of the transition. LGU procurement of individual population health services for most devolved functions. Sa regional level naman po, annual assessment of the contributions of cities, municipalities, and provinces in the attainment of PDP targeted priorities and outcomes, and consequently achievement of the PDP and to the most practical extent, the SDG po. Roadside attractions, midterm review, and of PDP, PDIP, RDP, and RDIP for 2023 to 2028. Limits. LGU shares in the NPA are projected to still reflect fiscal constraints posed by the COVID-19 pandemic and its consequences. So 2024, ina-anticipate po or nakikita na may effect pa rin po yung COVID-19 pandemic sa atin. Legislation that re-centralizes functions, services, or facilities already devolved to LGUs. Potential obstacle, styling of candidacy and preparations for 2025 local and congressional district elections distract governance actors from delivering services. And yun lamang po, for 2025, acceleration na, full speed ahead kasama all. Or yun nga pong ating communications tagline, yan, hashtag kasama all. So prospects for an online interactive and granular FDT roadmap. Ito po yung mga proposals pa rin sa pag-improve ng ating roadmap, can be rendered as a material that can be accessed online and provide more granular information in relation to the transition process. So sana po magkaroon ng mas granular or mas detailed na information. More granular versions of the roadmap can be developed at the level of agencies and LGUs. Instead of only making copies of the full text of the NGA and LGDTPs available, they can also be shown or illustrated as roadmap. So yung mga instead of only making copies of the full text, kumbaga sa halip na textual lang yung ating DTPs, sana po maging visual din siya or illustrations, ayan, para mas parang at a glance, ayan, nakikita po natin yung ating mga DTPs. So proposed next steps, identifying other parameters for possible inclusion in the roadmap. Katulad nga po na nabanggit, from time to time, our roadmap may be updated, depende po sa available information na sa atin. Generating details from oversight agencies, PFM experts, and NGAs for inclusion in the roadmap. Yun lamang po for our roadmap. Ito pong roadmap na to will not only apply to Region 4A, but ito pong roadmap na ito ay yung national roadmap po natin. So lahat po ng regions, ito po yung tinitingnan na roadmap to full devolution natin sa 2024. Yun lamang po, and ito pong presentation na ito will also be included doon po sa presentation materials na shared po sa inyo yesterday. Thank you very much po, Keach.
Maraming salamat po, Binibining Mulet. At yun nga po yung ating devolution Transition Plan Roadmap o ito po yung tatahakin. Actually, tinatahak na po natin up until fully na ma-assume ng ating mga and fully maka-adapt po yung ating mga LGUs doon sa mga i-devolve po na ating mga FSFs o ng mga function services and facilities. At yan na po yung last presentation for our second day. Congratulations po sa ating lahat and maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga kalahok natin para sa araw na ito. Nawa po ay it's always our earnest concern and objective na maiparating namin sa inyo yung mga kaalaman na kinakailangan po natin as we go on sa ating pag-roll out po nitong DTPs. So just a few reminders po before we end this, before we end the day 2. So yung link po na nasend namin yesterday for the presentations of yung lahat po ng presentation ng ating first day, yun pa rin po yung gagamitin nating link para po ibigay namin yung mga copies ng annexes and forms. So ayan po, as you can see, flash in your screen is the link para po ma-access natin yung ating presentation material. So andyan na rin po yung ating mga forms and yung mga annexes na hinihingi po natin kanina. And also same Zoom link tomorrow, yun pa rin po, same time, same place, dito pa rin po, 9 a.m. So kita-kits po tayong lahat. It's 3:31 in my clock, so babawi po kami bilang nag-overtime po tayo kahapon. So ngayon ay maaga-aga po tayong madi-dismiss. So kita-kits po tayo lahat tomorrow for our third day kung saan itatakal po natin yung mas closer look ng ating capacity development agenda. So with that, I think we're all good. Muli, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng ating mga kalahok. And kita-kits po tayo tomorrow. Our third and last day of our regional rollout of Devolution Transition Plans. Maraming salamat po at ingat po sa ating lahat.
Announcement lang po. May mga questions po dito regarding yung mga plantilla positions. Po namin ito, i-refer po namin sa Civil Service Commission para mas may idea po sila sumagot sa mga personal related questions po. So i-refer po namin sa kanila. So iti-take note po namin ito sa inyo and hopefully po ay doon po sa link ma-update po namin kayo regarding po sa magiging sagot po sa atin ng Civil Service Commission. Ano po? Ayan. So again, maraming salamat po and see you po tomorrow for our session on capacity development agenda. So ito pong magiging session ay yung Annex 3 ba ng BTP natin. So yun po, i-walk through po tayo ng ating mga coaches sa CapDev agenda formulation kung paano ba tayo nag-formulate ng CapDev under each pillar po sa CapDev agenda. Yan lamang po again, maraming salamat po and we hope to see you tomorrow po.
Recording stopped.